Hello Wolfpack, welcome back to another video here. We're going to be discussing something that Crypto Crew University, you guys would know him by now, discussed in his recent video. Now this isn't actually his analysis, this is the analysis of someone, I think in his group that he didn't put a link for, so I can't actually tell you who originally did this analysis. Unfortunately, I would love to do that. Shout out to that person, whoever it may be. I have no links to that. He didn't put a link, so I just can't do it. But this is, yeah, technically it's not actually Crypto Crew's analysis. This is some unknown person did this analysis. I want to give my thoughts on it because it's pretty interesting. And I want to explain, what it is to you guys, of course, and I want to explain some of the problems I have with it as well. It's kind of like a method for finding out where the bottom would be and what the exact price of the bottom will be based on various things, based on basically just a mathematical equation, which uses pi, right, with a 3.14 and various other techniques to kind of get that end result there. So what we have, and I'll explain it all to you now, is four separate major peaks for Bitcoin, right? We saw a peak in 2011, we saw a peak in 2014, 2017, and then 2021. Okay, it's actually 2011, 2013, 2017, and then 2021, of course. The four major peaks for Bitcoin. We've gone over in the past a method that this is actually Crypto Crew's analysis, this one I'm about to mention, that he kind of used to determine where the tops would be. I think I disproved that to a certain extent. I think I debunked it. You can go ahead and find that video. I did it a couple of weeks ago. It has his face in the thumbnail, but this is one for finding the top, the bottom. So obviously the big question on everyone's mind in this bear market, of course, is where is Bitcoin going to bottom? Where is the price point? And this formula might help us understand that. Keyword, might. Now look, okay, so what is the formula, right? The formula is this. You take the price, right? The high price, right? So we topped out here at 31 USD. You take the number we topped out at, right? You times by 0.2, and then you divide it by pi, and then it equals the bottom, okay? Roughly the bottom, right? So that worked in 2011. Same thing worked here in 2013. What you'll notice is that, the second part of the equation, which is timesing by 0.2, every cycle, you add 0.2 to that number. So in 2011, we times by 0.2. 2013, we times by 0.4. 2018, we times by 0.6. And then 2022, we times by 0.8. And based on this theory here, that should accurately predict the bottom. Now, it predicted the bottom in 2011 pretty well, 2013 pretty well, 2014, I should say, pretty well. And 2018, it was off by quite a bit. Right, it predicted 3,784, and we ended up bottoming out at 3,100. But it's vaguely, it's accurate enough, right? Accurate enough. And right now, this is quite interesting. If we apply that formula, we keep extending that formula, and we can see that it's predicting the bottom will be at 17,578. And of course, we've gone down to 17.6K, and this formula is saying we bottom out at 17.5K. So it stands to reason the formula is basically either suggesting we've already bottomed out or we will be going down just a little bit lower at some point, which would line up a 4-year cycle. Now that's pretty compelling, right? Because this is look, again, I have no idea how this person this anonymous analyst found this formula. That's pretty insane. I mean, I would never think to come up with something like this. I mean, the amount of effort that would take. I mean, it must be some sort of computer. I'd assume it's some sort of program because that's a very odd thing to happen. But okay, so here's the thing, right? It's a very interesting formula, and it seems to predict the bottom, and it seems to predict that the bottom is at 17.5K, which does actually line up with some analysis that we have done. Okay, the bottom will be around that region, and it will be retested in Q4. It does line up with that. Okay, but there is a problem with this formula, and the problem stems from 2018. As I said, it didn't line up with the bottom in 2018. Okay, we didn't actually see the correct bottom, right? We predicted, the formula predicted 3,700. We went down an extra 20%. Okay, that's not a small amount to go down. It's roughly correct, but it's not a small amount to go down. So just that alone means that this formula it has proven that it can be inaccurate, significantly inaccurate. 20% is not a small margin for error. If it was 20% wrong this time, we could actually go all the way down to 13.8K. Right? So that's not a small margin for error. So the thing is, this formula saying that the bottom is in or will be in at around 17.5K, when it has seen in the past a 20% deviation, doesn't really tell us much, because a 20% deviation from 17.5K is 13K, which is a big difference. And 13K, of course, is our lower target on Bitcoin. That's actually one of the separate targets. So it doesn't offer us any real clarity as to where the bottom would be specifically. It offers us a rough region, but it doesn't help us exactly in terms of pinpointing the bottom, unfortunately, which is the intention of the formula, and it did do that on 2 occasions in 2013 and in 2011. I want to briefly interrupt this video to talk about the BitGet exchange. Now, the BitGet exchange has 5 times lower fees than Binance, which is commonly referred to as the cheapest exchange in the cryptocurrency market. It's also non-KYC or voluntarily KYC, so you can stay true to the fundamental values of cryptocurrency, one of which being anonymity, of course. It's also got a security fund in there, so if you lose your funds by fault of the exchange or by personal fault, you can make a claim and actually retrieve your funds back. On top of all of this, if you sign up using my referral link, you can get access to exclusive discounts and rewards. This is the best exchange on the cryptocurrency market, and I use it personally, and so should everyone at the Wolves of Crypto YouTube channel. Now, if you're interested in actually learning how to trade for yourself, you can check out the Crypto Academy via the website link in the description below. This is a course developed by myself and Mega Crypto, a 10-unit course taking you through every single step from step 1 to step infinite about how to become a trader. Go ahead and check that out and chuck us an email at cryptoacademycourses@gmail.com, and we'll get back to you with the full information and payment information if you're interested. Thanks, guys, for watching the advertisements. Let's get back into the video. So, we'll take it a little bit further and we'll add a bit more doubt to this formula, which is seemingly very convincing. If you go ahead and you change the number, okay, so you might say we had 0.2 here, we had 0.4 here, and we had 0.6 here. If we change this number, simply change it to 0.5, right? And then we do the maths. Okay, so we do the maths like we did before, 19,804, which is the rough top, times 0.5 divided by 3.14 equals. If we change the number to 0.5, all of a sudden we have basically the exact bottom on Bitcoin in 2018. So then you'd say, okay, well, okay, so what if it's 0.2, 0.4, then 0.5, and then 0.6? What if it's changed from adding 0.2 each time to 0.1 each time, which of course is pretty speculative. But if we go ahead and do that, and we see where the price would end up in this cycle, right? And this might, make some of the bears a little bit happy. We can see 68,997 times 0. Again, it's going to be 0.6 this time, divided by 3.14 equals 13,100. So if we go ahead and change the formula slightly, we can see we're actually predicting a bottom as per this formula at 13,100 rather than the old prediction of 17,500. So here are my kind of thoughts on this formula, right? And there's a problem with that inherently. You can't just change numbers randomly with no explanation, all right? Because at that point, it's not really a formula anymore. It's just kind of you manipulating the data to make it say what you want it to say. So that's another problem. But my thoughts on this formula are this: it is very interesting, okay, and it does give us a rough guideline as to where the bottom would be. But it is nothing more than that. It is just a rough guideline. I've said it before and I'll say it again. There is no cheat code. There is no formula. There is nothing that this looks so good on the surface, but I promise you guys this. There is no single method at all, not even formula, not even indicator, nothing. No single method that you can use by itself to predict the bottom or top on Bitcoin. They simply do not exist, okay? Some people try to oversimplify things. There's nothing wrong with simplifying things, but when you oversimplify things and you rely on an abstract formula that we can just manipulate, as we saw there, I just changed the numbers and it matched up better. We can just make stuff up, basically. You're destined to fail. So yes, it offers some clarity. It does say the bottom will be around this region, roughly, very vaguely, 20% deviation potentially, but nothing more than that. So that's what I'll say there. But interesting formula nevertheless, we will be keeping an eye on it. Now, what I will say as well is that, and I just want to quickly update my buying plan. You guys know my buying plan by now. That's the buying plan. Pause the video there and write it down if you want to. We're relying on a 3-day close above this dotted yellow line to constitute a breakout. Okay, so this right now is not a breakout. We need a 3-day close, and we not only a 3-day close, we need a convincing one, right? Because we need to see a breakout of the RSI downtrending line as well. So a convincing 3-day close, which of course is subjective. But, what isn't subjective in a financial market? You need to have your own opinions on what confirmation of a breakout actually is, right? So, yes, it's subjective, but that's what I'm looking for. Convincing 3-day candle close above that line. I don't think we'll see that personally. I think we need to go down a little bit lower and retest the bottom. At the very least, retest the bottom. But we just need to keep an eye on it because it could, who knows? It could do something we don't expect. So, thanks for watching the video, guys. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.